% of UK adults have a will. Lawyer Ayesha Nayyar is here to share why they are important and don't need to be complicated. And that's the thing, isn't it? You think expense, you think it's complicated, don't know what to do, but it's important to have one.
Well, your starting point is it's very, very important to have a will. Not just looking after your cash in your lifetime, but also after you've gone as well. So don't assume if you don't have a will, what will happen to your cash, your property, your assets is what you want it to happen. So, for example, if you aren't legally married in this country, if you don't have a civil marriage, then your other half doesn't stand to inherit unless you've got a will. Your stepchildren don't stand to inherit. So take control of what's going to happen and do the simple task of writing a will. It's not just about your cash as well. You can stipulate in your will what you want to happen to your children if, God forbid, the worst was to happen to you and your partner. You can leave a charitable donation. You can specify your funeral wishes, or you can even, for example, say what you want to happen to your pets, which we know prized possessions, all of them, you can take control within your will.
Yeah, well, I'm in this category. I actually got advised that as soon as Ayesha and I have the baby, the first thing we should do is create the will. But if you've passed the month of March, or if you're just not eligible, like I'm not at the moment, how can you do a free will?
Well, you're talking about March. Well, it is Free Wills Month, so that you have the ability to work with a charity and a solicitor to have a will drafted for free, and that's through a solicitor. If you don't want to use a solicitor, you can use a will writing service. The cost of a solicitor, if you've missed the boat, is roughly about £150 upwards for having a will drafted. It can be more complex if you want to do more within your will, so it can be more costly. Will writing services, as I said, are cheap, or you can actually do it yourself as well. So if you've missed the boat, all is not lost.
That's good.
When you talk about free will, I keep thinking about the film. We're talking about DIY wills there, Ayesha. Are they fine to use? Are they legally binding?
Well, you can just scribble your will on a piece of paper if you want, as long as it's drafted and it follows the conditions. You can still have a valid will if you do it yourself. But what you have to remember is the rules are quite strict, and what you don't want to happen is your will fail on a technicality. So if you're doing something that could be considered to be controversial, or it's complex, or you're worried that your will may be disputed in any way, then it's best to use a solicitor for that service.
Yeah, well, I don't know what your family's like, but if I start writing a will right now, it could cause a lot of problems. The clashing will be immense. So any advice or tips on how you can avoid that with your families?
Well, your starting point is to have a will in the first place, and that way you've got your wishes down on paper and you're avoiding all confusion. Safeguard yourself. So again, if you're worried that there is likely to be a clash within your family, then use a solicitor, because that way you have that peace of mind that it's been drafted properly as well. You can write an accompanying letter along with your will to explain what you've done and why. So for example, if you've left one of your children out, you can explain the reason for that. It may be not that they're your favourite child, but that you've left them something in your lifetime. You've given away their asset to them in their lifetime. So you've made sense for your family of what you've done and why. You're under no obligation to sit down and tell your family what is actually within the will, or your loved ones, but it makes sense if you are doing something that could cause problems later to just have what could be a difficult conversation in your lifetime and explain what you've done and why. But what I would always say is, have a will. If you're doing anything that's complicated or complex or could be disputed, you might be thinking, right now I'm saving myself a couple of £100, but it could save you a lot of cost and heartache in the future for your family.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of peace of mind with it, isn't it? If you've done your will, where do you keep it? Where do you store it? What's the best thing to do these days? Is it on paper or is it digital?
Well, your starting point is to tell your executors that one exists. So that's the first thing you do. And then storing it, what do you do? So you can register it with the National Wills Register. That lets people know that a will is in existence. 10 million people have actually registered the fact that they've got a will with the National Wills Register. You can store it yourself. Just keep it in a safe place. And let somebody know where it is, let your executors know where it is. The probate registry can store it for you. There's a flat fee of £20 in England and Wales. A solicitor can store it for you as well. They may charge you, or they may do it for free if they've drafted the will for you as well. And there are will storing companies as well, organisations out there. But I think the important take-home advice for everybody watching is There's only 35% of people who've got a will in this country. We really need to increase that and protect ourselves.
I need to get on it, basically. And actually, we've got some questions coming in for you. This one's from Roy. How can I appoint an executor for my will?
Well, depends who you want to be an executor. You can have a member of your family, you can have a friend, you can have one of the beneficiaries as well, or you can have a professional that does it, somebody like a solicitor or any other professional who can do that. What you have to remember is your executor, let them know that they are the executor. You might want to ask them beforehand, are you prepared to be the executor for my will? You name them within the will and they will step in and they will distribute your assets. That's their job when the worst happens.
Sounded
I need
nice.
to update my will. I donate my bones to Morning Live after this dance challenge. That's what I'm going to do.